What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. It is Saturday, July 13th, and it is going to be another brutally hot day here today. We are looking at upper 90s again today with heat index well above 100 degrees again. We still have had no rain. We are at 6 weeks now with only 0.8 of an inch of rain. So 6 weeks we've had less than an inch, whereas just 3 or 4 miles from here, people have had 4 inches, 3 inches in that same amount of time. So we've just been unfortunate and we've missed it all. In the past few videos, you've heard me talk about how the well was broken down at our garden and we were having to bucket water what we could, but a lot of it we were just leaving to its own fate, whatever happened. Well, last Sunday morning, my brother texted me and he said, hey, Dad and I have the well working. So huge thank you to my brother and my dad for getting the well working. We have been able to run soaker hoses most of the week this week. The beans that were starting to turn yellow and shriveling up as they were trying to have beans set on and produce, they have now gotten full and they're dark green, and there's a lot of beans starting to come on there. So hopefully that'll be getting better. We'll have a bean harvest just in the next few days. The corn is still looking good. It's only about 4 feet tall. I'll take you down to that garden after a while. I'm up at the house. I've been down there already this morning. I didn't take the camera though. I was down there watering and pulling weeds out of the walkway. I let the soaker hose run for a long time while I also bucket watered the tomatoes and peppers and eggplant and stuff. I'm back up at the house now. I'll take you over here. The peach tree is starting to come to an end. Go over here and show you. We've got a ton of peaches laying on the ground here where they fell off. There's still several on the tree. I've got to go get me a bucket and come out and check these. But we have been eating peaches. We've been eating peach desserts. The wife has been freezing peaches. So we've got a lot of peaches we put up already and a lot that we've already eaten. But our peaches are beginning to come to an end. But thankfully, the neighbor's orchard, who has about 125 peach trees, they just started coming in this week. And he's going to be in peaches because he has several different varieties. He's going to have peaches for probably the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we're going to try to help promote him on our local social media and try to get him some business. But then we're probably also going to partake of a few of his peaches as well, just because we love peaches. Back over here, you see the, well, it's blown out pretty bad, but back over here behind me is the barn plot where we had that started getting worked up. You can see the bobcat sitting back over there where Dad started working that plot up last Saturday. Well, we're waiting on some rain, which, as I said, still hasn't happened, to try to let this settle out a little bit. And then I've got the company, they're going to have to come out and start putting everything up. Right now, so last week there was a forecast for rain for 3 or 4 days, and we didn't get any. It just totally dissipated and just nothing happened. They're calling for rain starting in 2 days, and there's a chance of rain, a 40 to 70% chance of rain for the next 6 days after that. So I'm hoping we can get several days of sustained rain coming in. Because of the drought and everything, I'm leaving the bees alone. I'm just trying to have water out for them. Over here in the box beds, I did transplant some more tomatoes and eggplants and stuff earlier today in hopes that we do get rain this week, because I'm trying to get a later succession planting of tomatoes, because the ones down at the big garden, you know, they're just kind of dragging along a little bit. But anyway, in other news, we are overrun with black snakes this year. I don't know what's going on, but in the past 2 weeks, I have moved or relocated 5 black snakes. In the past week, I have moved 4, including one that we found yesterday in our chicken coop, and it had already eaten one of the eggs, and it had a second egg in its mouth when I came in there and got it. So what I've done is that the first one was about 2.5 feet long. The two of them were about 4 feet long. One was about 4.5. And then there was one that was about 3.5 feet long. So there's some good sized black snakes here that I'm just relocating, getting out of the way here, getting away from the chickens, because I do not want to deal with snakes eating all of our eggs. But, you know, good thing is they're rodent control, and I don't know for a fact, but they always say that black snakes help keep the venomous snakes away, which really the only venomous snake we have here to deal with is copperheads. And they say the black snakes help with them, so I'm just trusting that they do, and I'm going with it. I'm going to get over here, get some stuff done. It is really, really, really hot, so I'm not going to keep this video very long. Probably later this evening when the sun goes down, I'll go down to the big garden, and I'll just give you an update of what that looks like down there. But for now, I'm going to get my bucket, and I'm going to start trying to pick some more of these peaches here before the Japanese beetles just devour them. See you in a few. All right, we're still up here at the house. It is now 7:15 in the evening, late afternoon, evening. I don't really know where you draw the line there. Anyway, I'm getting ready to go down to the other gardens. I've been working up here through most of the afternoon. We did have a surprise shower just pop up right here on top of us. First rain we've had in a long time. It was less than 1/10 of an inch though. It didn't last long at all. A lot of it evaporated as soon as it hit the ground. I mean, you could see the steam coming up off the ground. It was so dry, and so hot too. But anyway, out here I'm gonna show you this though. See the box bed down here? This thing is full of those sun sugar golds. I've been actually thinning them out. If you look down here, you can see a bare spot right there. That's where I actually started thinning some of those out the other day because there's just so many of them in here. They're taking over. They are indeterminate. I thought I saw something. There was a doe with a fawn back over here just a second ago, and I thought she was still over here. Anyway, they're indeterminate, so they just keep growing. I mean, it's not uncommon for them to be 8-9 feet long. So I have to cut them back to thin them out so we can get around in here and do stuff. But I want to show you something I did earlier. We have this species of tree here that's invasive called a paulownia. Some people call them an empress tree. Some people call them a princess tree. But highly invasive. They are. I think they're the fastest growing tree in the world. You can look it up and see. But they have these huge leaves. So what I've done is I go through, when they're young, they have these huge leaves. When they get to be full size, the leaves aren't this size. But what I do is I go through and I'm cutting these trees down, and you have to basically poison the stump to kill it, or it'll just keep shooting up new shoots. Shooting up new shoots. That sounds stupid, but oh well. Anyway, they keep doing that. So what I do is I go through and I cut that off, and then if I poison the stump, then before when I get the tree cut off, is I cut all these leaves off, and I use the leaves for kind of like a top mulch, top dressing on the beds here to just hold moisture in. So just something that I like to do. I hate to waste anything. I like to try to make use of everything we've got. When I saw down a full-size paulownia tree, I'll saw it up into firewood, although I have been told that it is a fantastic wood for woodworking for different things because it's super lightweight. It's easily you can work it with a knife or a chisel really easily. So I've got several great big ones that need to be cut down, and I think I'm just going to take them and have them milled into lumber. But that's a whole story for a whole other day. But anyway, I got to get out of here. I got to go check the other garden. Phones are blowing up right now too. This is not a political affiliation statement or anything, but phones are blowing up. I'm getting regular reports. Apparently somebody just shot at President Trump. So I'm getting all kinds of blow up. So if you hear my phone dinging, and my wife's phone's going crazy in there too. So if you hear any dinging, that's probably why. So anyway, I'm gonna get loaded up. I'm gonna head to the other garden, and I will see you down there in just a few minutes. All right, we are down here at the other garden now. It is getting late on us. I thought rain was coming in. My phone started giving me a rain alert. And so we kind of just held off coming down here to see if the rain was going to hit. Well, guess what? It didn't. So now we're down here. We've got the soaker hoses running. So the white half runners are coming up right here. They're getting really big. They're doing good. They're full of blooms again. I tell you, it went from last Saturday where everything was yellow and drying up, running these soaker hoses, alternating through the week, hitting each row, each night, or alternating that way. It's made a big difference. The beans are greening up. Now this row here, right beside me, is kind of starting to turn yellow again, but the row beside it, it's hanging full of bean pods right now. This one's got quite a few bean pods on it. I don't really see any beans on the white half runners here, but they are full of blooms, and they're looking better as far as the plant goes than the other beans. The corn over here, the corn is up over my head now, and it's starting to tassel out there. So it's, some people say tassel, some people say tossel. I don't know what the difference is or which one's supposed to be, but anyway, it's probably 6 feet tall now, so still not as tall as it can get, but It's peaches and cream sweet corn, so it's not normally going to get that tall anyway. The peppers are still struggling. You know, they've been really slow to produce down here. Thankfully, I have a bunch of peppers up at the house that are doing really well. The tomatoes, they're hit or miss as well. Depends on which row cloth that you're talking about. If you're looking at the Sam's Club row cloth or the weed barrier I use, those tomatoes are looking great. This other over here, that was the True Green, Stay Green, whatever it was, they look pretty crappy. That cloth is just terrible. I'm never going to buy that stuff ever again. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to get to the house, get a couple more things knocked out, and call it a day. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate you coming along with us. Drop a comment below. Let me know how your garden's doing. If you're also struggling with drought and heat this year, you know, we're about 7 to 8 degrees above average for pretty much the past 3 or 4 weeks now. We've had a couple days below average, but for the most part, it's been something like 14 of the past 17 days have been 7+ degrees above average. So it's been really hot and really dry. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, I'd appreciate if you go in and you hit that subscribe button, and you can hit the bell to be notified every time we release a video. Have a blessed day. Happy gardening.